Salutations, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Do or Do Not. We're filming on two cameras, camera one, camera two, camera one, camera two, today because my friend Rachel just got a brand new T2i, and it's very fancy and lovely, and I'm extremely jealous of it, and so I was going to take the opportunity to film on it because I can. And so, you know, if I go all the way up here, I'm going to be out of focus. But if I'm all the way back here, I'm in focus. Anyways, for this edition of Do or Do Not, we're talking about the movie True Grit. It's a brand new Coen Brothers movie. I love the Coen Brothers, big fans of theirs, and I was super excited when this movie came out, or when they actually hadn't even made it yet. It was like right after the time in between like No Country for Old Men and when Burn After Reading came out, and they're like, our next movie is like a spaghetti western movie that's bloody, and I was like, I'm all in for this. Like, throw in some western stuff and make it bloody and gritty, obviously, by the now title of the movie, and I'm all for this. So I was super stoked to go see it. I went and saw it by myself, which is cool because you know, grown men can go to movies by themselves as long as it's not like a Pixar movie, because that's just weird. Anyways, I just happen to have a glass of ice on the floor, so we're gonna go over here and we're gonna pour a little whiskey, if I can get this cap off. Awesome. Never try to shoot a video show with a camera in your hand and try to open things. So let's pour some whiskey, because I feel that's completely Western. Yeah, rye whiskey. Anyways, back to the movie. First off, I'm just gonna say, do go see True Grit. It's an amazing piece of film, and the way I was describing it earlier was, it's a true Western. And if you think about Westerns in like the John Wayne sense of the movie, or like in the 1950s when they were making just Western movies that were about being out in nature and about the whole mentality of being on your own and chasing after people and the outlaw thing, it really encapsulates what a Western is. It's not like a modernization of a Western. It's not, you know, a cheesy spaghetti Western where, you know, everyone's just like chinking at the hips with their spurs and shooting their guns. It's about being out there in a sense of right and wrong and going after people and things like that. We're going to switch to this side on this camera. Switch to this side. So it's a Western in the real sense of, it encapsulates what it means to be out in the Wild West, and that's enough about that. It's based off a book. Then they made a movie in the 60s with John Wayne in it. I haven't seen it yet, but after seeing the Coen Brother version, I know they took bits of the movie and then kind of went back to the original roots of the book. Jeff Bridges, amazing. I still haven't seen Tron yet, so I can't compare the two performances, but the mannerisms that Jeff brings to the character, and just like the way he walks and the way he talks and the way he verbalizes and interacts with people, just a stellar performance. And at one point in it, if you see the movie, look out for it, he says the word abides. And if you're smart enough to get where that comes from, then kudos to you. And if you're not, bone up on Jeff Bridges' work. Matt Damon, who I'm not a giant Matt Damon fan, like Good Will Hunting, yeah, The Informant, yeah, Born, whatever's, you know, 4 or 5 or 12 of them, however many there are, yeah, usually pretty distracting. This he pulls off. He plays like a Texas Ranger who goes out with Jeff Bridges and the little girl who we'll come back to, just to hunt down this killer. It's not distracting. Let's just put it that way. For me, Matt Damon can be distracting, and here he's part of the team and he helps flesh out the story. I don't really believe his character, in the sense that he's supposed to be a Texas Ranger who's fought in the Civil War and supposed to be experienced and just kind of hardened to the West. But at the same time, he's a contrast to Jeff Bridges' character, who's very hardened and gritty and raw. And Matt Damon's supposed to be a little more refined. But I just didn't buy it as much as I could have. Anyways, I think they probably would have done better with somebody else who could have brought a little more to that character. But, you know, still good enough. Didn't hurt the movie at all. The shining star, by far, is the little girl whose name is Haley Steinfeld. the character in the movie is supposed to be 14 years old. This girl actually is 14 years old, and I will not be surprised if she gets an Oscar nomination for this. Honestly, seriously, fabulous. Her ability to... The whole premise is that she's a 14-year-old girl, her father's been killed, and now she's going to hire a U.S. Marshal, and she's kind of out on her own, trying to convince people to help, a 14-year-old girl who wants to help her. But she has the ability, at least her character has the ability to understand how people work and really use that to her advantage. And Haley is able to convey this understanding of, through her face and through the way she speaks and her demeanor, that she really understands what's at the core of people and how to manipulate them in a sense to get what she really wants. And for a while, you think, yeah, she's really strong-willed, she's had to go through a lot, she's, basically the head of her family now, and she's out there trying to make things happen, and this is believable, and the little nuances to her performance are what makes it real. But, and at a point I'm like, well, I haven't seen her vulnerable side, and there's this scene late in the movie, and I won't give anything away, where it all comes out, and it's a great scene where you just see her break down this and show that side that, yeah, she cares, and yeah, she still has emotions, and yeah, she's still 14 for crying out loud. And there's some other parts in the movie where she is in the presence of violence and things like that, where she's trying really hard to keep it in, but it's still affecting her in a lot of ways, because she may talk the talk, but she hasn't necessarily been out there and been a part of that world. But she's willing and tenacious enough to go out there. There was a few moments, and I'm really interested to know if it's in the book too, where Matt Damon's character kind of has this infatuation with her, and it's these really odd moments, and I'm like, they kind of played it up, but they didn't draw attention to it. But if you're paying attention, you can kind of look. It's kind of like that creepy old man look, and you're not really sure what's going on. So it was weird, but at the same time, good. Josh Brolin, great. He's a smaller part, but still does it really well. Really well directed. Shot in New Mexico and Texas. The scenery is beautiful. There's this one true Western sequence where they're riding on their horses, and there's these long, 5-second cross dissolves of one giant landscape to the next, and you see the horses on one side of the screen, and then they're fading in on the other, and it goes through 6 or 7 shots of just these beautiful scenic shots, which is good. So, go out there, see this movie. It's obviously gonna be an Oscar contender. Jeff Bridges may get nominated. I won't say for sure. I would be willing to bet money the fact that Haley, who's only 14, will get nominated, and she'll probably be going up against Natalie Portman in Black Swan, which I still need to see. Great movie. Go out there. So let me know what you guys think if you've seen it. Let me know what your favorite Coen Brothers movie is. Mine is Burn After Reading. So funny. The best use of the F word ever. So, hats off to you, Coen Brothers. Great stuff. Now I really want to go read the book, True Grit. So, do see this movie. Do go out there and appreciate a good take on Western. Don't ever saddle up your kid's tricycle with a real saddle and ride it down the street. People look at you funny. Trust me. And do subscribe to this channel, and we will see you guys later. Adios.